Hey folks, it's Sensei Phil with Chosen Martial Arts Academy, and today I wanted to talk to you about fighting up close. Now, in the last couple of videos, we talked about using your palm heels as well as hammer fists, but there are times when you can't leave it at a distance. You're going to have to get up close to your opponent. If I'm going up on Melissa right here, if she tries to palm strike me from this distance, that's actually pretty good, right? Because she can get full rotation on it. She can get her she can get her extension on there. She can get some weight transfer in there. If I get in even closer, then she can use her hammer fists on me right here, because if she tries to do the palm strike, then she's kind of like bent here. She doesn't get full power here. But with a hammer strike, boom, hammer fist works pretty good. All right. Even if she doesn't get me with the fist itself, if she gets me on with the forearm, right here, that's not good for me. If she gets me across on my neck, that's not good for me. It kind of sucks. But there are times when maybe I get past her distance here. Maybe I get past the palm strikes. Maybe I get past the hammer fists over here, especially if her opponent is bigger and stronger, right? Well, if I get right up in here, then both of those strikes are a challenge. You need to use something else. One thing that you have in your bag is called elbows, basically. Now, if you see in MMA or boxing, typically they're up close here, kind of in what we call the pocket, you get a lot of these hooking type of punches where they're using their fist to hit to the body. Maybe they're getting uppercuts in there as well. Here's the thing with using your fist, though. It's hard to learn how to do that, right? At first, it's kind of an unnatural thing because we're not hitting straight anymore. We're gonna kind of have to rotate our body. Just that in and of itself to generate power can be challenging. And I use this example all the time. If I had to teach self-defense techniques to my children, I wouldn't teach them how to punch. I wouldn't teach them how to punch with a fist, especially this close, okay? Even people that start off with boxing, it takes them a while to get hooks in there because you're trying to hit here, these two knuckles over here, on the chin, on the jaw, somewhere over here, maybe down here in the liver. It's tough. Because there's a lot of other factors that play in. There's your fist, there's your wrist, a lot of issues here. But if I cut that off, and now I can work up close using just my elbows, right? Now with the elbows, you use the same type of rotation to generate power, but you don't have all the variables that come with the rest of the hand and the forearms and the wrist in there, okay? So the way this works is if I'm going in on Melissa here with my elbows coming up very close, right? I imagine faces of a clock right here, okay, where her nose is like the center of the clock, and then you got 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and these are the different angles that I'm able to hit her with my elbows. Now, you go with the rear elbow, and all I've got to do is, if I'm going 3 o'clock completely to the side, I'm coming this way. If I'm coming at 6 o'clock underneath, maybe up to her chin, up to her nose even, going up this way, and even down 12 o'clock, coming down here. Now, even though we say elbow, right, this is the elbow. But your weapon can be all as far as like further down the forearm or further up the bicep, depending on where the target is and your movement there. Okay, so in competition, tip of the elbow is very good for like getting cuts in there. If you can be very precise, like right around here and the orbital bone, that's good for getting cuts. You can get a stoppage in there. If it's bleeding too much, that's pretty good. But when talking about self-defense, it's very difficult to get that precise under pressure. She's attacking me right now. Go ahead, come in. I'm thinking about all this other stuff. I'm not thinking about, let me get this right here. That's too much to ask for me, especially under pressure and, my adrenaline's up, etc. So I'm thinking blunt force trauma in that case. So in that case, I'm going to use all of this area right here, whatever I can land. So she's coming after me, bam, 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 and ideally, if I can get a hold of her on the opposite side, particularly in her head, boom, 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 I can get a lot more pressure in there. So a lot of rotation, not so much extension or anything anymore. Holding on the other side of the target makes it a lot easier to kind of find your target, but also to land that force as well. Now, it's very different, though, when you're looking at the elbow from the rear, because I've got a lot of distance here to accelerate, and comparing that to the elbow up in front. Much like a jab, this is going to be less power, but more speed, right? So maybe it's a quick up elbow to set up, get her here, and then I can elbow down to the throat, or I can do some other things. But just keep that in mind that, the body mechanics are going to be a little different. That's why it's useful for you to train both sides, okay? So train this one up in the lead, train this one in the rear as well. So if I'm coming in on Melissa, she tries to get me off. If she senses some danger here, immediately she's going to get into her defensive stance, right? She's going to try to get a hammer, palm or a hammer fist on me to try to keep me out. But then if I'm getting really close, then now she's going to, that sucks, this really sucks, right? Getting the elbow in there. So that is the elbow strike. Train it with different sizes of people as well, right? Now obviously here, Melissa, I'm a little bit taller than her, right? But if I'm down here, going up on her, like we have a couple of our students over here, they're very, very tall compared to me, and definitely to Melissa as well. Elbows may not be the most effective thing. It may not even be the best strike to throw, just because of the distance and the body mechanics in there. So it's very important for you to train, the different weapons with different types of targets. So does that make sense? Cool. All right, guys, that's it. Again, this is Sensei Phil, Chosen Martial Arts Academy. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.